So there's a few things I want to discuss about why I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm a little bit nervous making this, but I'm usually nervous making content, so just bear with me. So this channel is mainly an astrology channel. I do talk about other things as well, but it has mainly been an astrology channel where I kind of discuss some ideas about astrology that I've had and some aspect readings and just aspect interpretations, I should say, and just a few of my thoughts about certain astrological topics. But while I have made a few readings for people a few years ago, they were mostly like test runs that I wanted to kind of try out. I just wanted to try out making readings for people and see if I could do it, and it was fulfilling in a sense. It was something that I thought that maybe I could keep doing, but I also was kind of overwhelmed by doubt about a lot of it, and I just want to kind of flesh out some of these thoughts about this. So I think one thing that I've been thinking about lately is that I think to be a good astrologer, you kind of need to be very aware, and you need to well, preferably you would meet a lot of people, and you'll be able to kind of see how the astrology actually plays out in the real world with people, and you can kind of use that as a reference. And while I do that as often as possible, so in my own videos I often talk about people that I know in my life, or I use them as a reference, but I feel like a lot of my astrological knowledge is mainly based on things that I have read in articles, or things that I've heard or read other astrologers say. And so I don't have a lot of experience to pull from when it comes to interactions with the real people in my real life. I don't meet a lot of people. It's like I do have like a few key people in my life, and every once in a while I will kind of meet a new person. But, you know, I'm not in a position where I can really pull from a lot of real life experience to kind of apply it to the astrology, both in terms of understanding how aspects and like positions actually play out in people. While I can have an idea about that, I may not know for sure based on my own experience. And also, I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to just things that I kind of life wisdom and experience that I can kind of put into my readings if I was to do readings properly. And I do have a little bit. So this channel partly is a way for me to express some of those, wisdom pieces that I might have. But I feel like to be a good astrologer, you kind of have to be able to really apply people's charts into real world situations, and real world situations into charts as well. So you kind of have to be able to connect the two. And of course, everybody has to start from somewhere, and with time and with experience would come wisdom and would come more experience. But I feel like it's very difficult for me to really feel confident in applying some of what I've learned in life or what I've seen in people into astrology. So like I say, I do it as much as possible on this channel. Like I use what I do, the people that I do know and what I do know about astrology and like life, I do use that as much as possible. But I feel like the people that I have in my life, it's not, it's like there's not enough of them, or there's not enough of these experiences that I can pull from, that I can kind of look at this position and say, oh, this is what this position would show up like potentially, and things like that. A lot of it is based on intuition, and there is something to be said about just intuition as well. I think there can be very sharp insights just coming from intuition, but I would prefer to be able to meet or to be in a position like where I'm just, meeting more people, so that I can use what their charts have shown me in my readings, if that makes sense. So like I'm kind of shy, and I don't meet that many people, and I don't like discuss astrology with many people and things like that. So it's hard for me to apply some of people's experiences in my readings. And like I keep saying, I do use people's experiences and people's charts in my videos, for example, as much as possible. So I reference people, but I think for readings to be a professional astrologer, whatever way you want to put that, like I think you have to have more people and you have to have more experience. And speaking of speaking to people, I think to be a good astrologer, you kind of have to interact with clients, preferably face to face or in a video call or something like that, rather than just kind of a few lines from the client and then you make a reading based on that. That can work as well, and there can be good results from that, definitely. And I've done, like I say, a little bit of that in the past. But I think the kind of astrologer that I would prefer to be, if I was an astrologer, I would prefer to be someone who is able to really speak with a client kind of more intimately, in a way, like face to face or in a video call, and so that I can see how everything they can tell me like what their experience is, and then I can see how that relates to the astrology, rather than me kind of making assumptions about how this aspect or this position might show up in them. Maybe it's not relevant to them at all. So it's a bit of a game of guessing. It's like a guessing game. It's like, this is how this aspect might show up in this person, but maybe it shows up in them a different way. And I'm not really ready to kind of while I would find being a professional astrologer interesting, I think, and I've done a little bit of readings here and there, but I don't feel like I'm ready to kind of speak to clients on a regular basis, like in a video call or face to face or something like that. I just don't feel that I'm in any way a professional astrologer. And I don't feel like I'm even on my way to being a professional astrologer. I'm just more of a hobbyist, if that makes sense. And also, I haven't really found a way to do astrology that I would be really confident in and really happy in. So I think part of it is just a confidence issue as well. But it's like I can't find a way, seemingly, to kind of like a structured way that I can do readings. And like I don't know if I should do it this way or that way, like what formats should I use, and the options of course are there, but it's like I'm still kind of finding my voice, and I'm kind of and I feel like I'm not really in a position where I would feel comfortable doing like regular readings for people that would be practically applicable. And I haven't really found a way to kind of share what I learned, what I've learned and what I know and what I can give in like a more structured way that isn't on a whim. So most of my videos are on a whim. Like I have an idea about a certain topic in astrology, and I let it sink in, and I think about it a little bit and I make a video about it. But with readings, it would be a regular thing that I have to be ready for, every day or every week, to do this thing. And it wouldn't be on a whim. It would have to be structured. I would have to understand all the components, or the main components, let's say, of their birth chart, let's say. But in my head, like I might just be thinking about one or two aspects. So like the way that I make my videos, I will have an idea about a certain part of astrology and I would make a video on that. But with a reading, I would have to kind of maybe talk about aspects that I don't feel like I know that much about, if I feel that they're really strong in the person's chart or something. But I may not have really like personal ideas about that aspect yet, and so I would be maybe relying too much on what other people have said and articles that I've read, and instead of really being able to tune in and tap into what this person needs information wise and advice wise, right? So like I have ideas about astrology and I have knowledge about astrology, But like I say, when I make content, for example, it is kind of on a whim. And with readings, you can't really just, do that. You have to be practical, you have to be structured, and you have to be ready for whatever this person's chart might bring you, if that makes sense. So I might have to, talk about things that I just don't really know about, or they might get an incomplete experience. If I do that, they might get an incomplete experience. So I don't know. I don't really know why I felt like making this, but I felt like I should just kind of explain, because I've had thoughts about trying to take astrology further, and it's been kind of suggested to me and stuff like that. But I think just I wanted to give a little explanation. So I'm still, thinking about astrology. Occasionally I think about maybe doing readings again for people, but I would have to kind of really like understand how to do it in a way that would work for me and the clients. And I don't feel comfortable with that right now. And I have an online friend who actually said to me recently that you don't have to have a clue on everything all the time. Just do. So just do things without having figured it out necessarily first. But with something like this, I think I kind of need to figure out a little bit of it before I kind of jump head first into the situation. And like, I just don't feel like I'm ready. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. If you want more content from me, do subscribe. I do talk about astrology and other topics occasionally on this channel, and leave a like if you appreciated this. Thank you.